So number one shift that I had to do, I had to go from a hustler to a C. And I know you're like, how do you do that? Well, check this out. See, when you are at that 5-figure level, you're likely in your hustle mode. You're likely trying to get up, grind. See, a hustle grinds. Sun up to sundown, they grinding. You're doing everything yourself. Your business is going to depend on you. You show up every day, grind every day, you make money every day, right? But to reach that 6-figure plateau, you need to start thinking like a CEO. See, when I was in hustle mode, when I was doing my thing, grinding on the block, I thought the harder that I hustled, the harder that I grind, the harder that I work, the more money I'd make. Welcome back to the Solopreneur Chronicles podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Anthony Porter. Now, if you're new to the podcast, we just want to say welcome. If you're returning to the podcast, man, it's good to have you back. It's always good. This has been a journey, trial and tribulation, but we are here to help solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, all alike take their quest of being financially free in their one-person business and scale it from a 5-figure inconsistent income to a 6 to 7-figure lifestyle that they choose, that this is what they want to do. This is how they live. I just want to sit back and say today, I just want to thank you. All right, it's like episode 9 of the Solopreneur podcast. Now, this is year 4 for me, because I've had other podcasts. I didn't understand the process, but I've had other podcasts. That's not for this particular episode, because this episode is about what we just talked about, transforming your business. But the key to that is you got to have a mindset. And the mindset that you need to move from 5 figures to 6 figures is what we're going to discuss today. So understand that scaling your business isn't just about working hard or working harder or long hours. It's not about that. It's about how you change the way you think and the way you approach your business. Ponder that. It's not about how long you work or how hard you work. It's about the way you think and the way you approach your business. Not nobody else's business, your business. See, the one thing I try to tell a few of the people that I've helped out over the years, a lot of people call them students, I call them friends, because my friends have come to me and they have asked that burning question. They're like, hey, bruh, how do you get to the point where your business, you feel like your business is taking off? I said, well, first of all, you got to understand this. Your business is a sprint? No, it's a marathon. Your business takes time. But you have to be able to, weather the storm and be very patient. But that comes with mindset. Some people see the shiny object and be like, I want that Lamborghini. I want that condo. I want that house on the hill. But they don't understand that in order for you to get that house on the hill, in order for you to get that Lamborghini, that condo, all of those nice watches and things like that, you got to start at the bottom, work your way up. So scaling your business isn't just about working hard or long hours. Remember that. It's about the way you change how you think and how you approach your business. So this particular episode, transforming a complete transformation of your business, the mindset shift that you need to have to go from an inconsistent 5-figure to a very consistent 6 to 7-figure lifestyle that you choose, that shift can help you unlock the next level of your entrepreneurial journal, or should I say entrepreneurial. So I got a question for you, because I know I have. So I'm gonna go ahead and ask a bunch of other people. Have you ever felt just like you just been chilling and just stuck, just sitting there, just stuck in your 5-figure grind? Now the other part of that question is, are you ready to get away from that 5 figures and break through? Because if you are, then this is you rocking with the best. You rocking with the one person who has been there. All right. See, I figured out a long time ago that it takes more than one income to be successful. I repeat that. It takes more than one income. So when I say more than one income, I'm not saying you combine with your spouse, because that's even better. I'm not saying you combine with someone you care about. That's even better. What I'm saying is, in order for you to be successful in your business endeavors, it takes more than one income stream to be successful. So you got to have at least 2 or 3. But these streams will not feel like a job because it's something that you love. So again, if you're ready to take that step, if you're ready to get over that hump, if you are ready to break through, then again, this is for you. Now, do me a favor, don't forget, please do not forget, because if you're enjoying the podcast, make sure you subscribe and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Your support helps me reach other entrepreneurs, solopreneurs like yourself, who are willing and able and want to. They got to have that burning feeling, want to get away from their inconsistent 5 figures to a 6-figure lifestyle they love and choose to have. All right. So without no further ado, we are going to do something for you. We're going to dive in. We're going to take off the blinders. We're going to take off the boots. We're going to take off everything, and we are going to dive straight in. Get your pen, get your pad, get your soda, get your drink. Get ready, because it's time. It's that time again. Let's get it. All right, we are back. So let's talk about this. All right, let's dive into that mindset, man. Let's clear our minds. I would have never been in this position if I hadn't start following people like Eric Thomas and Nehemiah Davis and Davis Shands and Donnie Wiggins, and watching podcasts like Math Hoffa, by Expert Opinion, which is Math Hoffa's, and Gillian Wallow's $1 Million Worth of Game, and Nori's Drink Champs, and Earn Your Leisure, and podcasts that I love, like with my hip hop background, like Beehive and stuff like that. I had to understand that my mindset needed to change. And once I changed my mindset shifted from my inconsistent 5 figures doing things that I love to my 6-figure, 7-figure consistent lifestyle. I'm able to do things that my peers are not able to do, but I'm very choosy about what I do. See, I'm not running around buying up $1 million cars. I can tell you right now, if you ever see the Tonka toy ride through the city, gray and orange, that's your boy from the Solar Panorama Chronicles. It's me. I have a Jeep Rubicon. That's all I want. Sitting pretty. I don't need the Lamborghini. Too big for that. Stuffed. But what I'm trying to get to and what I'm trying to get at is my mindset had to take a shift. I had to shift it from the inconsistent 5-figure thought process to a 6-figure thought process. I had to reassure. I had to do my affirmations. I had to think. I had to tell myself. I had to put myself into a mind frame. I had to build a routine. Now, for those who don't understand what I mean is I wake up 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning every single day, even on the weekends. It's the same routine. It's the mindset of a billionaire. It's the mindset of a millionaire. It's the mindset of someone who is determined to make it. Now, the truth is, folk out here with their current mindset, is what got you where you are today. But it's also what is keeping you stuck. See, there's a difference in being a boss and a CEO. And we're going to talk about that. There's a difference from being a boss and a CEO. There's a difference from being a hustler and a CEO. But when you're stuck, you have to be able to do two things. You have to be able to sit back, refocus, and look at what's going on, and then you have to level up. And to level up, you need to change the way you think, the way you act, the way you make decisions, the way you move. A lot of people don't understand that. Let me give you a quick tip on why I say this and how this plays out. Now, a lot of people are going to say that's not necessarily true. I'm going to tell you, as a hip-hop head, it's damn well necessarily the truth. All right? So, for the longest, the Grammys didn't accept rap music. I'm not going to say black because at the time you had people like Third Base, MC Search, Pete Nice. That was Third Base, Gasface, dope music, dope MCs. You had the Beastie Boys. Come on, man. Everybody know who the Beasties are. But you had the culture, which was a predominantly black genre music. They wouldn't accept it. They said it was noise. But you had cats out here putting out multitude and, spectacular works like KRS-One. KRS-One, one of the greatest MCs ever, right? Ludacris, Dre, Snoop. Now, not taking nothing away from Dre and Snoop because they got theirs. But what I'm saying is this. Ludacris had dropped so many different albums that was bangers, but never got recognized. It wasn't until Ludacris cut his hair. That everybody decided they wanted to show him support. Now, he's going to say probably, and I don't know Mr. Chris, he would probably say that's not true. I'm giving you my opinion, what I see. And what I see is that happened. So that's just my opinion. And I say that because when I say you have to level up, you have to think different, move different, act different. Your decision-making has to be different. So people, gang, I have three powerful mindset shifts that made all the difference in the world to me. And I'm going to give them to you. See, the one thing over here at the Solar Chronicles is we don't gatekeep. We're going to give you that information. We're going to give it to you. And when we give it to you, it's up to you to take action or be a tire kicker. So, number one shift that I had to do, I had to go from a hustler to a CEO. And I know you're like, how do you do that? Well, check this out. See, when you are at that 5-figure level, you're likely in your hustle mode. You're likely trying to get up, grind. See, a hustler grinds. Sun up to sundown, they grinding. You're doing everything yourself. Your business is going to depend on you. You show up every day, grind every day, you make money every day, right? But to reach that 6-figure plateau, you need to start thinking like a CEO. See, when I was in hustle mode, when I was doing my thing, grinding on the block, I thought the harder that I hustled, the harder that I grind, the harder that I work, the more money I'd make. I took that mentality and brought it over to my businesses. Same thing. The harder I worked, the more money I thought. But I quickly realized that my time and my energy was not being shown what it needed to be shown. See, I had to shift the way I was thinking from thinking like a worker to thinking like the leader. That meant focusing on the strategies, delegation. So it means I was delegating a lot of stuff like outsourcing. And then I had systems that was being built so that when I wasn't working, they was working. You know what I'm saying? Those systems was put in place for that lifestyle that I wanted to choose. So if I want to make 6 to 7 figures, I got to have something that even when I'm asleep, I'm making money. Now, a lot of people say, that's the stock market. No, it's not. It can be, but what I'm saying is I had to have something in place in order for me to make money while I'm sleeping. So now I need you to ask yourself this question. All right, because I just gave you the thought process. And my thought process was I went from hustling to CEO mindset. I went from doing everything myself to being a leader, delegating tasks that needed to be delegated out, and having systems put in place in order for me to be successful. A lot of people don't get it. A lot of people too cheap. But ask yourself this question. What task are you doing that someone else could handle? I give you a prime example. My daughter handles my social media accounts. She's taking over my social media accounts. As I'm recording this episode right now, she is literally taking over my social media accounts. She's always own social media. So what better way than to just let her handle the social media? All right. If I can outsource certain things like my designs that I want to have put on my shirts, that's done. But automating my business, my funnels, that's got to be number one priority for me. So you got to figure out what you can automate that could help you free up some time for your child, your wife, your moms, your vacation, all of that. You got to be able to free up that time. All right. Now we got that out the way. Let's get to number two. Number two, shift two is what I'm going to call it. Shift two is scarcity to abundance. A 5-figure mindset means you are rooted in scarcity. You are worried about losing clients, underpricing your services, and man, just hesitate to invest in yourself. A lot of people don't want to invest in themselves. Listen, I recently made one of the biggest investments going into my video podcasting. All right. And if you hear the bag rumbling, that's because I'm just so proud of what I have done. Most of my videos I shot on my iPhone. I recently just bought the Sony Z EVZ10. It's a beautiful camera. I started playing with it just last night because I finally got it. Been waiting on it. But I had to figure out how to invest in myself some more. So my home office is going to be the replica of the podcast studio that I'm wanting to build, because I want to teach not only how to start a podcast, but I want to be able to educate the young, the youth, black or white, on how to be entrepreneurs. Because if you're not paying attention, the media game is turning to podcasts. And these young folk know how to do it, but we got to get the mindset right. So that means we got to adopt an abundance mindset if you want to make it to 6 figures. What else does that mean? That means believing that there's more than enough opportunity, enough money, and enough clients for you to thrive. So here's the thing with that statement right there. There's more than enough. Everybody thinks that podcasting is saturated. It's not. Listen, listen what I'm about to tell you. I listen to Pat Flynn's Smart Passive Money. I listen to Russell Brunson's Marketing Secrets. Two of the best, 2 different podcasts. All right. And then I'll jump over and I'll listen to Anthony Clint. He does sync music. I listen to Nehemiah Davis. And these is when I'm in my vehicle. I recently started listening to David Sands. But I like to watch his videos because he got some guests on there. Boy, it'd be hilarious because the hot seat's hot. Boy, I'm telling you. Whew, don't fool with David right there. David gonna make it hot for you. But it's the education that I like. It's what you going to get. So understand, it's like when I first started, I was so afraid to make a change. I was afraid to change what I thought was my worth. I thought if I raised my prices, clients would disappear. But once I shifted to my abundance mindset, and started valuing my time and my expertise, not only did I attract better clients, but I also started earning more while working less. See, the thing of it is I was always afraid because I didn't want to offend people. I thought that if I charged too much, then nobody would buy. Not knowing that the people who wanted it felt like it was a cheap imitation. When in reality, it wasn't. See, one of my homeboys is starting a podcast. And I told him, look, I work with you for free. I don't want to charge you anything. And he was like, come on. We sat down, we talked it out, we talked about it. And he's like, bro, the information you just gave, you got to be joking. That's at least $3,000-$4,000 worth of information. We set up his podcast, talked about his equipment, talked about strategies. We talked about legal matters. We talked about how to be more sufficient, how to be a better interviewer. We talked about a lot of things. He looked at me and was like, bro, you tripping. So I told him, I said, okay, I'm going to give you this action tip and I'm going to give y'all the same action tip. I said, look at what you're holding on to. Tell me what you're afraid of when it comes to raising your prices. Because at that time, he was charging people just, to come and talk. That's what made him wanted to do a podcast. Now, the value that I gave him was the reverse because he was doing it for 50 to 60 bucks. But he was motivating folk. And I'm like, bro, you tripping. Like, I let him talk, but after that conversation, bro, you tripping. So don't hesitate to invest in the tools and your education. Because see, listen, man, one thing I had to learn was I had to learn how to grow. I had to learn how to think. I really had to learn how to deal with a learning disability that I have, because I'm dyslexic. But my education was very important. I had to learn how to be the podcaster. So I had to jump in and take a few courses and understand things. I'm looking for Toastmaster events around my city so I can better articulate my lingo and speak to the public better than I'm doing. And that's what you need to do. You need to start small. Try to increase your rates or outsource one task and notice how everything will shift. So that's action number 2. Think small, try increasing your rates, and then outsource one task. And that task could be anything. And then you shall notice how the shift changes with your results. Now, shift number 3 is quite simple. We got to think focusing on the long-term value is so important. See, after the 5-figure level, it's easy to get caught up in the short-term wins. Now, I'm not saying, man, go celebrate your wins. Celebrate your wins. Don't get caught up. Landing your next client, making your next quick sale, or hit your monthly revenue goal. Celebrate them. Celebrate the wins. See, some six-figure entrepreneurs, they think long-term. They focus on building that relationship. They focus on creating that system, and they focus on developing and delivering exponential value that leads to repeat business and referrals. You got to understand that when you celebrate your wins, don't just celebrate that, hey, I got it done. Yay, I made that. Boom, here's what I need to do. I need to get to the next level. So let's say you have a goal that you want to start thinking about, and that goal is you want to generate, because we use Instagram, I use Instagram to promote my podcast and things like that. I did my personal brand. I started with 0, and in 3 months, I'm up to like 800, 900. My goal was to be at 1,000 in 3 months, but some of those days I just was not in the mood. Consistency is the key. All right. So set your goals. Focus on the long term. Remember that scarcity to abundance is the key. And when you are first getting started, you trying to go from a hustler to a CEO. And I mean, you have to think about how to deliver more value to your clients. So that's what you need to do. Think about how you're going to deliver more value to your clients. Can you offer follow-up services? Can you create a referral program? Build a community around your brand. Focus on relationships, and the real value, the real revenue will follow. And listen, I can't ask you to do too much, but when I ask your simple task to take care of, just take care of it. Now, let me give you something. All right, 5 quick tips. This is part of the show. Every week we're gonna drop them 5 quick tips. Here are some quick tips to help you implement these mindsets. All right, tip 1: create a CEO schedule. Dedicate the time each week for a strategic planning session. What does that mean? Focus on your long-term vision and not just the daily tasks. Tip number 2, set bigger goals. Realistic goals is perfect. Set some bigger goals. That means you got to reach for the stars. If you are aiming for 6 figures, start planning like a 6-figure business owner. Need we say more? Let's see what that says. Yeah, plan like a 6-figure business owner. What would your business look like at that level? You have to sit back and think. So, like, listen, we're going into 2025, right? You should be thinking about what your business could look like within a year. If you focus on the 5 ones, you're going to be great. What are the 5 ones? You're going to have 1 target audience, 1 offer, 1 traffic source, 1 platform. Focus on it for 1 year. Boom, and there it is. All right, now tip number 3, invest in yourself. Take courses, hire a coach, or use tools to save you time to help you grow. I've done that. I love doing that. I'm addicted to courses, by the way. Free. I don't like free. I'll pay for them. Free, I don't do that well with them. I'll tell you that now. If it's free and I can invest in it and I don't invest in it because it's free, I fall short. I don't know why. Once I spend my money, I'm like, hey, I got to get my value up. All right. Tip number 4, track your progress. Measure what's working and what's not. That goes into the piece of material that I'm working on called the failure journal. See, most people track their progress on the wins. I track, man, on why didn't it work. First of the year, we're going to drop the failure journal. Haven't come up with it yet, the price for it, but we're going to drop it. It's dropping first of the year. It could be my birthday celebration because it's in 2 weeks, y'all. It's in 2 weeks. So, woo. All right. You got to measure. You got to track. You got to adjust your strategies based on the results. And that works perfectly for those who think like a CEO. I'll reverse engineer a lot of my work. Okay. Now, tip number 5, and this is the last tip: celebrate your milestones. Like I told you before, celebrate the wins. Acknowledge, no matter how small. Acknowledge, like Roman Reigns would say, acknowledge me. Acknowledge the wins. The wins are telling you to acknowledge them. Acknowledge them. All right. Take that opportunity to share that information with somebody. Set a goal, reach that goal. So here's one thing. If you start a podcast, which every business needs a podcast. If you start a podcast in 2025, here's what I need you to do. Set your goals, and every time you meet a goal, do something that excites you. Read a book. I don't know how much it excites you, but there. Buy something new. Don't go overboard, but just purchase something that you want. And as you grow, your purchases will grow. But you'll be smart about it. You'll see. All right, you will definitely see. Now, the other segment, the Chronicles Club entries. Now, today's diary entry for me is about a key moment of my journey when I had to shift my mindset from the hustler to the CEO. Now, I can remember back in the day, there was a time I was working them 12-hour days, trying to get that grind on, right? But then I would get off work and go work another job. I wasn't a saint. I wasn't. But I had dreams. My mother was a single mom. I had my grandparents, but I wasn't asking them for no money. Moms was struggling. We lived in a 1-bedroom apartment and made the living room with a fold-out sleep or the other bed. Man, y'all tripping. I ain't having no silver spoon, so everything I had to do, I had to work for it, right? So I was doing everything, marketing. In my business, as I got older, I was starting to do everything because I started learning. In 2019, when COVID hit, is when I really dove deep into the marketing aspect. Now, mind you, I've been podcasting for 5 to 7 years. I really started taking it serious after I stumbled across a guy named Gabe Schilling. Shout out to Gabe. He's the man over at Midi Money, because I was a beat maker. I was doing beats because this is where I come from. I come from the hip hop era, right? So me and my homeboy, we had a group called The Spliff. We dropped the album 2001. We did we did shows, hung out with the South Central Cartel, Spice One, people like that. But the thing of it was, I didn't have the marketing mindset. Gabe had a course that he was giving away in a contest. And in order to get it, and I didn't get it till after the fact, in order to get into the contest, you had to purchase Russell Brunson's Traffic Secret book, which was a drop that was happening right around COVID. Now, the book wasn't shipping out till March, I do believe, but it was the early release and you wanted to get in on it. So what you had to do is the book was free, but you had to pay for shipping and handling. And once you pay for the shipping and handling, you had to show the receipt. I entered the contest. Whoop, lo and behold, I won. I got the course, and then I started learning. Wait a minute. And that's the only free course I took that I still go back and look at, because even though it's about music, it still got the mind frame that you need to know about. Yes, sir. It really does. So remember, when you are a solopreneur, you are everything. You the marketer, the admin, you're doing everything. You're doing the onboarding, you're doing everything. Client calls, everything. And that's what I thought. I thought I had to do everything. I had to be the one. No one else could do what I could do. In my head, it's my business. Nobody knows my vision. Nobody knows my vision. And I hit the wall. I'm always exhausted. I was always exhausted. My business wasn't going nowhere. And that's when I realized I'm like, do with this bottlenecking crap. I started outsourcing small tasks, investing in tools and focusing on my strategies. Popped onto a David Shands 7-figure podcast masterclass, and it was on. The last 2 years I've been wanting to go down to the podcast convention. Year 3 I'm going, because I want to take mine to the next level. So my takeaway to you is my income started to increase when I started to shift my mindset. My stress decreased when I started to shift my mindset. And I finally felt like I was running a real business. Podcasting is my business. Y'all can say what y'all want. Podcasting is my business. You feel me? So the takeaways that I want you to understand is this. To grow, you have to let go. Trust the process. Invest in yourself. And focus on the bigger picture. Now, 2 things that I do have, I will say this. I am outsourcing my website. My website was trash. And because I rebranded everything, the website is being redone. So be on the lookout for the Solarpreneur Chronicles podcast.com. And I hope y'all really enjoyed today's episode. I hope these mindset shifts inspire you to start thinking and acting like a 6-figure entrepreneur. Go from zero to hero. Go from broke to boss. All right. Go from broke to boss. You have to scale your business. Scale it. Your business starts with scaling your mindset. And that's pure facts. There's over 400 million people who listen to podcasts every single day. This is not saturated. I listen to 4 or 5 episodes a day. Put on my Meta glasses and I go to work. In the gym, I'm listening. When I'm sitting here idealizing, which I'm thinking of stuff I need to do, I got the podcast going. All right. So if you enjoyed today's episode, please, I hope you did. I know you did, because that was powerful. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Apple Music, Spotify. Leave us a review. You got to leave a review. I'm asking you to leave me a review, man. Leave me a review on Apple Music or Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Your feedback helps me grow. I'm a one-person business. I want to reach more solopreneurs like you, because I think that everybody needs to not have something gate-kept, but have something that can truly inspire you to get to the point where you feel like you can get over the hump. All right. Again, the website is being completed, and once it's completed, if you follow and you download, you subscribe to the podcast, then you will also know that you will hear that pretty soon you will be able to go to the Solarpreneur Chronicles podcast.com, get some more of that insight, some more of those tips, tools, and resources to help grow your one-person business. That 6-figure income can be right there. Just all you got to do is reach out for it, man. You understand what I'm saying? Hey, this episode is going to come out next week. Actually, I'm recording it a week in advance. So this episode is coming out 2 days before. 2 days before Christmas. For everyone out there listening, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Even though we will have another episode, because it don't stop for the Solarpreneur Chronicles. But just Merry Christmas. Enjoy your family. Enjoy your time. But even though it's Christmas, you still got to think like a CEO. You still got to think like a boss. You still got to think about going from that inconsistent 5-figure income to a 6 to 7-figure lifestyle. And when you sitting there and you opening those gifts on Christmas and you see the smile on those people's faces that enjoy you, and in the back of your head, the goal that you got set is you could take and make it even better. That's where it's at. All right, man. Thank you for tuning in. I'm going to see y'all next time. All right. Keep building, keep growing, and do me a favor. Keep leveling up, man. It's your boy, Anthony Porter. Sorry. Used to saying Tony. Man, it's your man, Anthony Porter over here. Solopreneur Chronicles. We in the building. Actually, we out the building. Merry Christmas.
Thanks for tuning in to the Solopreneurs Chronicles podcast. I hope today's episode gave you the insights and inspiration you need to take the next step in your business journey. If you enjoyed the show, do me a favor, subscribe, leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and share this episode with a fellow solopreneur. Your feedback means the world to me and helps us reach more people just like you. Let's thank our producers of the show, Sincere and Charlie Straughter, Rhea Cash and Theory Porter. So don't forget, for more tips, tools, and resources, subscribe to the show. So just keep building, keep growing, and I'll see you next time.